Hello and welcome to week 1 of LRC's The League. We are partway into practice at Alsace Village, one of the 3 tracks today for the qualifying shootout. Everyone will be racing against the clock to set their best time to be placed in a team. More on that later. Let's introduce the drivers. So most of the field has been with LRC since the beginning, but for many this is the first organized league they've been a part of, so the pressure is on today to set their best time. Each session will be 15 minutes practice, followed by 15 minutes qualifying. We shouldn't have any real inclement weather to interrupt, and everyone should have a decent amount of time to go as fast around the track as possible. And these drivers have been training for quite a while. It's been a few months, Wednesday practice sessions of learning to drive within the limits, and they'll be using a lot of those skills when round 1 starts up next week. Lots of very soft tires, lots of tire wear. The fuel goes down quick, but not today. They've got all the fuel and tires they need in the car, ready to set some hot laps. So, as for now, we got D-Jams in the front. 1.2 seconds to kg. This is just practice still. So just setting that 2-minute 3 to gain some consistency in the car, making sure he can do it in qualifying as well. KG in that all matte black livery car. Azazel already getting to grips with that wheel. I think he's on the wheel today. Recently got one. So making that transition from controller, which has always been impressive. Rumors have been that he's been using the D-pad on a controller this whole time, so that's if that's not skill, I don't know what is. Ellen here. Turquoise McGain. Everyone will be in the Renault McGain today, just to create an equal playing field for all the drivers to set as close times as possible, and everyone's times will be added up for each session, and then the teams will be selected from there to keep it balanced as well. Looks like we just started qualifying here, so kind of continuing through the field. We have Yishib, Trackhead as well, Lamb King, Stenzel, Dinosaur, who's been the organizer of this particular league, Raleigh Rancher, Token Timmy. Let's see who else we have. Jay Silva, War Eagle, and Rogue Nipra. I think that's everyone. Everyone heading on to the track now. They've been told to give each other space, so let's see if that gentleman agreement holds up here. They do have quite a bit of time, so they don't need to race to the line. Just under 1 minute in, so everyone's just getting spaced out here. It's an interesting track, Alsace Village in France. It's very hilly, almost like a roller coaster in a field, really. And it's about a 2-minute lap time, as you've seen D-Jams from previous session. Everyone will be on the soft tires, and some might pit halfway through to just put a fresh set on. Feel like they need to, or if it'll give them an advantage at all. Let's try and find who's in the front here. That's D-Jams. Alright. Let's ride on board here. This last section here is pretty difficult. The downhill braking, make sure you brake early because the gravity's working against you. Opposite of braking uphill, of course. And straight lining the exit here, trying to get maximum exit speed onto this short pit straight. Braking late and turning in late apex onto the power early, but you want to be careful because there's a dip there, easy to get some wheel spin. This corner, turn 2 should be flat out. Let's listen to see if he lifts at all. Oh, that's easy flat. Turn 3 is a difficult one. Also a late apex. He takes an early line there. Might just be playing it safe, putting in a banker lap. This corner you do need to lift quite a bit, because you'll go wide into the grass if you try it. Turn 4, easy, just your normal, average 90-degree right. And then here all the way to the right side, the left-hand hairpin. There's quite a few hairpins on this track. It's easy to get them mixed up if you don't know the track very well. But DJams has been racing this track for a few years now, so he knows it quite well. And this track is just full of late apexes. Now it seems like nearly every corner. I have to take a very tight line, stay to the inside of that tight hairpin again. Set yourself up nicely for this fast uphill left-hand corner with a dip right in the middle at the apex. Down the hill again. And let's see what the first time is on the board. Taking it easy on the throttle. And it's a 2:05, so really decent time for DJams just right off the bat. And KG puts in a 2:01. It's a 2:15 for LN. And they're just all filtering through here. We got a group of 3 cars starting a lap right at the line. They might just want to... Oh no, they're not spacing out at all. They want to race already. Now, little Jacob, I don't think I mentioned him earlier, so he's the 15th of 15 driver, has a nice Subway livery on the car. So the way this will work is everyone's best times for each track will be added together, and then there will be a final total time for each driver, and they will be chosen, they will be picked into 5 different teams. It's 5 teams of 3. And for example, the fastest driver will be paired with someone towards the middle, as well as the slowest driver or the one with the highest total time. And then Team B, as we're calling it, will be positions 2, 10, and 14. And it goes from there, so really focusing on evening out the experience and the skill level here, so it should be a really interesting Constructors' Championship. Should be very close points, so Raleigh is currently in 13th, 6.3 seconds off of KG, who is taking the top spot. Harley Rancher can't improve at the moment, so it was a 2:08.7 for him. His best time is 2:06.8. Have a look at KG's time. So 2:05.45. It's 44 thousandths. Very close at the top. See if DJMs will be able to replicate that 2-minute 3. Only about 2/10. So let's ride on board with Alan here and see what kind of lines he's taking. Now a little wide through that long right-hander, banked hairpin, but managed to adjust his line, keep it on the track, and maintain some speed. It seems most drivers' fastest laps have been lap 2, and maybe a lap 3 they're just, whether it's intentional or not, being a cool down lap. Get the temperature down in the tires and get set up for lap 4. KG is set at 2-minute 3. And Alan has not been able to improve yet on his lap 2. So it's 2/10 now between KG and DJMs. Have a look further down the field here, so Land King in 10th. 900ths or so ahead of Little Jacob. And we have Dinosaur, Token Timmy, and Road. So far a 6.5 second spread between all the drivers, which with a track that's this long, that's not too bad. That's pretty tight. We have about 5 minutes left here, and KG just improving even further. 6/10 up into the end of sector 2. A little bit of a wobble, exiting that tight right-hander hairpin. That car looks like it's right on the edge. KG seems like he has quite a bit of experience in the setup and tuning department, where these cars are open to setups, so differential, aerodynamics, and suspension all can be changed. DJM's now with a 2-minute 1, so he saw KG's time and knew he had to push. And yeah, very nice lap for him. See if we can catch a glimpse on, no, this is turn 1, so he'd already finished the lap, but it's good to know that the replay system is working well. Have a look at B-Ship's car. We haven't had much time with the camera on him yet. He's just moving over for the car behind. Giving himself as much space as possible here. He'll be looking to improve his time of 2-minute 2.7. He's in the FedEx Express Renoma game. Let's hope he can emphasize the express part here. Oh, too much express. Yeah, that's often turn 1. So I'll be needing to clean off those tires and go again. me as a driver, I'm always I'm more alright with going off at turn 1 in a hot lap than the last corner, at least. Especially if you've done good lap the entire... Oh no! Too much throttle on the exit of turn 1. I think these tires might be just overheating a little bit. The driver's pushing lap after lap. It's certainly a different style of driving that you have to kind of master for qualifying. I don't think we'll be seeing the drivers pushing this much during the official rounds, the races we have planned starting next week. That will be much more of a managing pace and conserving tires and fuel. Should be interesting with the multiple different strategies. Some tracks might favor certain strategies, but it's up to the drivers to figure out which ones those might be. So we have Chase Solo about 4/10ths down from D-Jams, who has put an even quicker time in. That's a 2-minute flat, nearly. Crackhead with the very nice bright green Mountain Dew with a couple addendum cameos. The Michelin mascot that everyone so fond of. Let's take a ride on board with little Jacob here, so just to get an idea of the elevation changes. Probably stay on board for what's going to be his last lap here. We got 22 seconds or so for him to get over the line. D-Jams is done. He's hoping that 2-minute .0 stand as the, we'll call it pole, but there won't be a race. I can already see the, if you haven't already from the offboard, this is a very hilly track. And you have to really take care of going over the hills and the crests. Suspension will unload. Tires won't have as much grip. And depending on how much throttle you put in it, that could mean understeer or oversteer. I don't think he's improving as of yet. It's only Sector 1. Through this banked hairpin, you can see just how steep that is. Really helps you corner, holds the car onto the track a bit. And he's 2/10ths up, so he's gained quite a bit of time. In that second sector, went a little wide through the final hairpin there. See if he can carry the speed through. Oh, had to lift there, went too wide. Didn't want to get on the grass. That was wise of him not to just keep a foot in it. Would have spun it for sure. Oh, very close to the barrier on the left. Kept it out of the wall there, and it will be a 2-minute .7. So he lost some time in the third sector. His best time will be a 2-minute 2.6. Looks like KG has finished his lap. So has J. Silva, trackhead Alan, Will Jacob, Zazel War. Looks like everyone has finished their lap now. Just waiting for the time remaining. So it's been an interesting first qualifying session here. And it looks like the overall gap has dropped to a 5.6, so even with the top times drivers improving, the field had tightened up even more. So yeah, it's a relatively close field. Next track we have up is the Red Bull Ring, and everyone knows that one. So that should be an even more level playing field. Track knowledge not really coming into play because everyone knows it. So well done to DJ Ames. About 9 hundredths of a second ahead of KG. Checking on the rest of the results here. So Jay Silva in third, Trackhead fourth, and Allen rounding out the top five. Bishop in ninth, Stenzel in 10th, Dinosaur, Token Timmy, Lamb King, Rogue, and Raleigh Rancher. KG just saying there he had 7/10 of a second uh, faster personal best, but lost it somewhere. And that's definitely something to consider is the consistency and driving within the limits of both the track and the car. These Group 4 cars are uh, a little understeery at times, and they don't have the most grip. But also, if you give them too much throttle, they will spin around in the rear-wheel drive format. We're just waiting for the transition to Red Bull Ring now, so to kind of reiterate the points earlier about qualifying here, so this is the first of third of three tracks. This was Alsace Village, and next will be Red Bull Ring, followed by Autodrome Lago Maggiore in Italy. Now everyone's times will be added together, each driver's times. And then we got a format here to put them into teams, and then those teams, the fastest drivers of those teams will be the team captain, and they will pick their Group 4 cars, limited to European manufacturers, and that will be the car that that each team will be driving for the season. And just looking at the track list here of the season itself, so round one will be the Nürburgring GP circuit. Round two to Spain, Barcelona with no chicane. Le Mans round three, and then Spa round four, Brands Hatch round five, and finishing off at Monza at round six. So that should be a very interesting season, a good mix of tracks with very different types of layouts, and should be a good mix of what car is fast where, so the drivers will have to take that into consideration while they pick their cars. Which will happen just after the third track here, after Lago Maggiore. So just taking a short break here between qualifying at Alsace and practice session at Red Bull Ring. Looks like Dinosaur has just finished entering the times of everyone into the sheet here that I'm looking at. And then we'll be off to Austria. So a little bit more about the car. It's a Renault, of course, a Gain Trophy. I believe it has a V6 turbo engine. And default, right out of the box, off the lot, you might say, is a bit understeery mid-corner and a bit oversteery on corner exit. So each driver has had that challenge of figuring out the car. I'm sure some might be driving it stock with no change, but I know the quickest times that have been set probably have some sort of setup on the car, which has been uh, differential suspension or aerodynamics or a combination of any of those. So here we are at the Red Bull Ring. A very different track from the last one, much shorter, many less corners. Just as much elevation change though. We'll see that on board here with little Jacob into, some call it turn 2, some call it turn 3. But this just here is a downhill braking zone, similar to final section at Alsace. And that's a very difficult corner to get right, whether on a hot lap or or racing for position. Probably one of the more difficult corners on the track. As well as the one coming up just here, so it's fast right-hander. The fastest corner on the track. And it's very easy to go wide and get a track limit penalty, which will invalidate the lap. Interesting to see what DJMs and KG will set for times here, whether it will continue the trend of them being at the top. It'll be interesting to see the gap once if it's below a 10th again. And there's the track limit penalties I was talking about earlier. I can guarantee that that was on the outside of turn 9. Is that fast right-hander. Much better for it to figure out where the limits are in practice. That's what practice is for, of course. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing quite a few track limit penalties, but hopefully the drivers just figuring out where those limits are now, able to put in their representative times qualifying. I believe Dinosaur said in the Gran Turismo chat here in game that this qualifying will be starting 9:20, I think. Let's see. Check on the time here. 9:10. Okay, great. In about 10 minutes. 10 minutes left of practice. I'd love to know if Azazel is using his new wheel this week for qualifying. Because if he is, then he's getting used to it very quickly. Got a little sideways there, but was able to save the car somewhat easily, it looked like. Have a look again at everyone's cars. So Rogue has a kind of bronze metallic paint on his. Ellen also in a Mountain Dew livery. I didn't notice that before. Not sure if that was planned with. Was it? I'm forgetting who it was that track at. There we go. Not sure if that was a planned kind of maybe like a hoping they'll be on a team together. Possible. That'll be exciting to see who chooses which cars and who will be on each team. DJM's here has already said he's gonna make the team more of a more organized. So have a team meetings, maybe some race debriefs now and then. I think he said he even put together a team mission statement. No, he's very excited about this league. AG is a driver where put him in anything in this game, and he seems quick. We were driving they were K cars on Monday, and that's how I know that he has quite a bit of experience in tuning and setups. Is he had this engine swapped 2015 little Honda, geared perfectly for every track, and he just launched off the line. And I think it was Laguna Seca. He started last and was in first before turn 1, using a bit of boost with the nitrous, and yeah, made all the moves before the first corner. We like to have fun on Mondays with various cars that we wouldn't usually race. Add in some nitrous for some boost. These cars certainly don't have any boost or nitrous. Ends up using quite a bit more fuel actually, which they definitely won't want going into rounds 1 through 6. Very sideways on the exit of turn 3. Yeah, it looks like KG is really figuring out where the limit is of the grip of the rear tires. None of these cars have traction control. So one of the regulations of the league, the first season, to not allow any TC. So it'll be an extra challenge for the drivers, especially if they're not used to it, and especially if there will be any rain, any inclement weather, dampness, or standing water on the track, any puddles. That's definitely something to look out for later in the season. Not today though, seems like all clear skies so far. Jay Silva putting in a good time. 500ths up for this lap. Went a bit sideways though. Had to lift off the throttle and catch the car, so be surprised if he gains any more time here. It'll be interesting to see if that is a representative lap for the top times of the field. Oh, pushing a bit too hard there. Going wide into the gravel in turn 3. It's just being nice and staying out of the way of the trailing 3 cars. Didn't want to mess up any of their practice laps. And that's something that LRC really focuses on. We have a lot of fun messing around both in party chat and on the track on days that aren't as official, but as soon as it gets to a Wednesday or now a Tuesday night, the sportsmanship is very, very appreciated. Oh, a bit more grass this time for KG, just parking it on the side. I think qualifying might start soon. 3 minutes I saw in the chat by Dinosaurs, so drivers will have a couple more laps to practice the track. We were talking about Jay Silva's time. Looks like KG has gone 2/10 quicker. I think he's decided he doesn't need any more practice at the moment. Watching everyone go by into turn 2. That was a very out of control McGain there. Almost looked like he pulled the handbrake accidentally. Deciding to practice the pit entry now. War Eagle currently in 4th place in practice. Let's see what place he was in last round. So I don't think I can see the place he was in last round, but he was about 2.6 seconds off the lead time at LSA, so I'd say that's around mid-pack. He looks to be towards the top of the times on this track, so maybe LSA is a bit different when it comes to everyone's knowledge of the track, and maybe they're just getting used to the car even more. We'll have to see when second qualifying starts. Of course, we do have to think about some drivers might be hiding their times until qualifying. Right on board with Stenzel here. Nice and smooth for turn 3. Seems like the drivers are able to use a bit of the entry curve going into turn 5. The exit curve on turn 6. Yep, he uses a lot of that. Alright, so we got qualifying starting. Second qualifying of the quali shootout. Week 1 of LRC's The League. Watching, like Azazel is the first to exit the pits. him for a bit. As everyone's doing their outlap, a bit more about LRC as a group. It's the Learners Racing Collective, and was founded a few months ago. Oh, Azazel has spun it in turn 3. Must have damaged the car because he's gone right back into the pits, and that'll put him towards the end of the pack, which might not be what he wanted there. Yeah, so a bit about LRC. It's a group focused on improving everyone's racecraft, whether that be driving lines, every aspect of racing really, driving side by side through corners cleanly, and battling hard but fair, all of those sorts of things. And as I said before, many of these drivers have been a part of LRC since the beginning, have done quite a few Wednesday practice sessions. Wow, that turn 1 is looking treacherous. Take a look through turn 1 for the rest of the drivers. Looks like the rest got through it okay. Yeah, gotta be very, very careful on the gas, coming over to the hills and crests. Also through dips, basically any part of the track or place where the car is somewhat unsettled or suspension is unloaded, can be very easy to spin it around at those times. And see how DJs takes this tricky turn 9. Very nice. Right to the edge of the track using all of the exit curb. 1 minute 36.7 for him. KG must have ran into some trouble on his lap because that's 1.2 seconds behind. A bit sideways again through the exit of turn 1, but this time KG is able to save it. Head right behind the car, maybe definitely picking up some slipstream there. But 2/10 slower into sector 1, so maybe the car ahead held him up a bit into through turn 1. Maybe just got distracted by it. Oh, going for a move. Yeah, he went deep. Oh man, maybe he missed the braking point there. Took some evasive action on the inside. Looks like KG is just finishing up a lap now. So that's a 137.4. Still needs 7/10 to match DJ's time. Still looking like he's struggling just a bit through turn one. Bit more oversteer than he would like. But still 1.5 tenths up. It's a turn two. It looks like most drivers are taking turn two in second gear, avoiding dropping down to first and getting wheel spin on the exit. Down into second gear in turn three though. That's surprising. Does not feel like he's getting enough rotation in the car. Needs some more engine braking. So yeah, going really wide through turn six, or I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to get on the exit curve so that you can open up turn seven as much as possible. And the tricky turn nine again. Gets the braking done in a straight line. That doesn't unsettle the car. Nice line through turn 10 though. Doesn't improve, so a 10th down. Times are quite consistent though, between half a second, 3 laps. So that'll certainly help him in the races to come. The consistency is very important. It'll be quite a few laps for each round. I believe the first round at Nürburgring GP is upper 20 laps or 30. It'll be roughly just over an hour for each round based on the pre-season testing. And I believe we have a practice race tonight as well, after the qualifying shootout and the team selection. So the drivers will have a chance to get a feel for their chosen car in a race situation. DJM's here 1/10 up on his best time, which so far is the best time. Yeah, DJM seems to be a little bit more comfortable on the brakes than KG. Doesn't feel like he needs to get all of the braking done in a straight line. He seems to have lost a bit of time in turn 10, so the car just a little sideways. But funnily enough, that was 2/1000ths difference between that lap and his last one. We were talking about consistency with KG, but this is even more so. But Jay Silva in third right now, Stenzel in fourth. He's trying to get around Lamking at the moment. And I hope Lamking didn't hold him up there. But if Lamking was also on a flying lap, there's not much he could have done about it. And that's the importance of having enough space between the drivers. But it is a 15-minute session, so you could easily get back out there and set your fastest time. We're about 10 minutes in, so 5 minutes to go at the Red Bull Ring. And then it's off to Italy for the Autodrome Lago Maggiore. It's probably one of my favorite tracks in the game. Dinosaur's car was, the back end of it was wriggling quite a bit coming out of turn 3. Also got quite a bit of understeer coming through turn 7, so maybe he doesn't have the setup on the car that he's looking for. A few of the drivers have been helping each other out with the tuning. It's something that the LRC drivers really focus on, is collaborating, combining knowledge and skills together. Try and bring everyone up to the pace of the rest. And it looks like that would have been 1/10 faster for DJMs had he not gone wide through turn 9. Well, still some more pace in that car. And Silva's still maintaining that 3rd spot. I think he'll be happy with that. And Track had 2 in 4th. .6 seconds between the field and that's just dropped even more because Lamb King has gone 1.7 seconds faster than his previous best. That's a 38.6 for him. Look at how Alan takes this corner. Looking just after the 100-meter board. And that looked nice and smooth through there. I'd be surprised if this wasn't an improvement on his best time. Oh yeah, 8/10 up. If you can manage to get these last 2 corners right. Upshifted a bit late there to 5th, might have lost a bit of speed. But it was a decent line through the last 2 corners. Let's see what he gets at the line. 2.2 seconds faster than his previous best. That'll put him all the way up in 5th from 15th. A huge jump up the timing sheet there. Seems like he's got more pace in that car though. If he can put this last lap together, I think it is the final lap for many of these drivers. It's getting towards the end of 15 minutes. James has his hazards on. Maybe he's just saying to everyone else, be careful, I'm going quick. But it wasn't quicker than his best time, so it'll be a 1:36.7 for him. Looks like he might still be going though. He might still have a last lap here. Let's take a look at KG. Looks like he's just ahead of DJMs on the track. So DJMs might be looking to get a little bit of slipstream on the straights. KG's car continuing to look a little on the nose. Bit of oversteer. But managed it well through turn 3, I think. I didn't see the car very sideways that time. Have a look at his steering inputs here. Got a car on the outside. He's out in the gravel though, so it shouldn't affect him. And can he keep it inside track limits on turn 9? Take as much speed as he can into there. Yep, well inside track limits. Flipping the inside curve out to the exit. Using all the track there. Oh, it doesn't improve. Alright, so it looked like everyone else had finished their laps here. Dinosaur finishing up his last lap. And that'll be everyone, so take a look at the results. It's D-Jams once again with a 136.7. KG 3/10 behind. And it's Silva in the yellow and white Regain taking 3rd spot. Hazel in 4th. Trackhead in the top 5. Allen 6th. Stenzel 7th. War Eagle in 8th place. And the last second half of the field, we have Raleigh Rancher, Bishop, Lamb King, Dinosaur, Token Timmy, Rogue, and Little Jacob. I was really expecting Little Jacob to be higher up the order at this track, so maybe he just struggling to put a lap together. He's been pretty quick in other LRC events. Maybe this was just a one-time happening. I can't think of the word. So probably another short break as we prepare to head to Lago Maggiore for the 3rd and final qualifying session of the day. Alright, so the timing sheet is just being finished up for this round. And then we'll be heading to the third of 3 qualifying sessions for the shootout today. Yeah, the first track was Alsace Village in France. Second, of course, here at the Red Bull Ring. And third at Autodrome Lago Maggiore. And so far it has been D-Jams taking the fastest time at both tracks. We'll see if he can make it a clean sweep. Just looking at the total times, looks like D-Jams has about half a second ahead of KG. And then it's 0.8 back to J Silva, 9/10 to Trackhead, 3/10 to Ellen. Those are the top 5 right now. Then we have Azazel, War Eagle, Bishop, Denzel, and Lil Jacob for the top 10. Just traveling over to Italy now. And here's the track. You can see the map on the screen there. It's an interesting layout. The first sector is a bit more technical than the rest. Sector 2 is full of, well, Sector 2 and 3. The rest of the track is full of long, sweeping corners. As we can see here. So, this corner, probably the most difficult one on the track in terms of braking and corner entry. Definitely a corner that can make or break a good qualifying time. And this being the last quali session of the day, drivers will be under quite a bit of pressure to get those times in, making every bit of practice matter at the moment now. Through the very, very banked hairpin goes KG, kicking up a bit of sand. And again, this is practice, so figuring out where the limits of the track are, how much you can push the car. And the track limits are known to be quite lenient here, I guess is the word. So 2 tires on the curb, and the stewards or the marshals seem to be all right with that. So drivers will certainly be using to that in their advantage if they have the precision. KG might want to move that braking point back just a bit. Right on board with Lamb King for a bit here. I think he's following Azazel. And this is the last corner of the track. Very long, sweeping corner. And it's kind of deceptive. You want to take a early apex there and then follow the line all the way out wide. Because the corner just keeps on going. Very technical sector 1, so a tight left-hander followed by a hairpin, another hairpin, and another hairpin. Then down the third longest straight on the track, followed by yet another hairpin. Now the rest of the track, though, is, like I was saying before, very sweeping, going over elevation changes. See this very steep uphill section here on the longest straight of the track, and you're already coming onto it with quite a bit of speed. And then just as steep downhill, if not more, and braking right at the end of that green wall on the left. Oh, but that's still not enough. Might need to brake even earlier than that. These cars don't have that much power, but they still do get up to pretty decent speeds. Quite a bit oversteer there for Azazel between turns 1 and 2. Just where you want the car to be planted. That's a really counter steer. You catch the car, get the entry of turn 2 right. This is the time to take in all that information, all the stuff you learned in these 15 minutes of practice, and put it to good use in the next session. Trackhead goes wide onto the back straight. The S's that are before that straight are they're difficult to get right. You have to really slow down for the first one and then carry as much speed as you can through the rest so that you're as fast as possible on the back straight. That'll get you the best time, but it's difficult to do consistently. See it right here, so all of the curb through the S's and try to keep as straight as a line as you can through the last one, not to scrub off too much speed by turning the wheel. Looks like Dinosaur had improved on that section since his last lap, because he was about 7/10 up, which would put him right at about a 2-minute 13. Which would be about 7 seconds or so off KG's current time. But this is one of those longer tracks, so we probably won't see the times as close to each other by the end. Jam's taking the top spot with a 2:06.1. See how close that is to the pole time in qualifying. Oh no, Dinosaur missing the braking point for turn 1. It's a very difficult point to spot. But using all of the road and a bit more through the final corner. Really working on taking that line and carrying as much speed through there as possible. But it's so important to be consistent through that last corner, because that'll help you be consistent into the first corner, really sets up your whole lap. Tenths overall best. Again, the sector 1 for Silva. This might be a favorite track of his. Also a bit wide at the end of the S's there. Just keeping it within track limits, I think, though, so no penalty. It might just have dropped his speed a little bit going into the sand, but not too much. These two corners kind of spread out. S section is flat out on soft tires, and looks like we have qualifying starting just now. So this will be where it matters. They're each racing the clock. 15-minute session. Everyone wants to get out there. Even a bit of trying to gain some drivers trying to gain positions on the outlap. Also some tire warming going on. So in any which way they feel like they need to, the drivers are preparing for their first time lap. Stenzel's back in the pits, or maybe he's just exiting for the first time now. So he'll have a little bit less time, but he's still got 14 minutes or so to set a time, a representative time for himself, so should be all right. Looks like we have D-Jams out in front of the pack here, so right on board for his first time lap. We can put in another solid banker time. Smooth line through the last corner, setting up the speed on the pit straight, braking at about 125, I think. Ooh, the car got a little loose. Maybe too much on the throttle between turns 1 and 2. But can still set a decent time here if he gets the rest of the lap right. Through turn 4, it's a very tricky exit here as E-Jams is demonstrating there. Very easy to go wide onto the curb, and that curb doesn't have that much grip on it. This is the S section here, so he brakes hard into the first one. He stays in 4th gear, so a lot of drivers have been dropping down to 3rd there. Looks like he's maintaining enough speed to stay in 4th. Like Azazel has gained a bit of time on him here. A couple of mistakes he's made through the first lap, but it could also be that the tires are still a bit cold. Flat out through the fast S section there. This part of the track is very difficult to get right, the track limits. Sometimes you can put the car very far on the inside of those corners, but the curves are also, they make the car very unsteady, so you gotta be careful. E-Jam's just playing it safe here in the second half of the lap. That would be a 2:06.0 for him. And Azazel taking the top spot for now, a 2:05.6. Oh, that won't help his time on this lap. I didn't think he got damaged, so I'm surprised he went back in. Maybe he did and I didn't catch it, but it's usually you're better off staying out and burning some fuel, making the car a bit lighter. Both Azazel and KG would be really be looking for a top spot, or at least be quicker than D-Jams in this session. D-Jams has taken the top spot in both of the previous rounds of the qualifying shootout. But regardless, I think KG will definitely be in the position to be one of the team captains. Been well inside the top 5 in both rounds so far. In fact, just behind D-Jams. I believe the total time gap is half a second combined. Between KG and D-Jams. Silva has been improving his spot on the timing board since the first round at LSA. improving his time just a bit more there. The 2:07.1, so decent time. Oh, was pushing a bit too hard there. And back into the pits to start over again. Oh, and coming out, we just saw him come out there, and just a bit into traffic, so maybe didn't realize that Azazel was coming around into the braking zone in turn 1, but it didn't look like it affected Azazel too much. And King setting a best time of 2:11 there, so that'll be about 6 seconds gap between the field. Let's see. Oh yeah, Rogue and Raleigh haven't really set representative timers for themselves just yet. See if he's at the end of a lap here. So, oh yeah, improved 17.8 seconds. I'd say that's an improvement. So just a 10th behind Token Timmy at the moment. Azazel's still in first place here on the timing sheet. More than halfway into the session, so KG or DJams would have to really put together a lap here towards the end, and DJams does. So that'll be a 2:04.9, very solid time. Looking at his line on the last corner here, takes an early apex, 2 tires right on the line on the exit. And 7/10 ahead of Azazel, so KG sliding his way through Sector 1. Again, just right on the limit. I have a feeling like he's tuned that car to be right on the edge of grip and sliding. Here's the S section again, so using a lot of the curve on every turn. Hitting the apexes nicely here, so see, coming up to a sector, no, that's 200ths down, but can still gain quite a bit of time in the second half of the lap. Using all of the inside curve on the hairpin. Flat out through this section. About 120 mile an hour corner entry here. And he somehow lost 2/10 DPS's up until that timing line, so doesn't look like it'll be an improvement on his time this lap. Oh, clipping a bit of grass on the entry, kind of kicked the car sideways a little bit as he went on the brakes. The tires will be not the cleanest coming into turn 1, so he's got to be conscious of that. Looks like he's taking that into consideration. Oh, DJ's bouncing over the curbs at the end of Sector 1. Let's take a look at the rest of the field here. So we got Trackhead slotted into 4th place, 200ths ahead of Silva, so that's very tight. And War Eagle, 600ths behind Silva. Alien about a 10th back. B-Ship 4/10ths. And a bit of a gap back to Little Jacob. Denzel in 10th, Token to me in 12th place. Someone looks like they've found their way up the order. Dinosaur in 13th, Raleigh in 14th, and Rogue looks like he's still struggling a bit trying to put a lap together. That's damage on the front and front right of the car, so he might be able to get it back to the pits, get it repaired, and do one timed lap, but he'll have to make it count. Have a look at Azazel's progress for the lap here. So out to the back straight, up the more gradual incline and down the very steep one. He's got 4 cars ahead of him here, so they've got to be aware of Azazel coming up to the back of them, but they could also be on their own flying laps. It looks like Azazel's actually just backing up here, so creating a bit of space for his last lap. And lap time's over 2 minutes here, so will be his last lap coming on to that in just a few corners. Looks like Dinosaur got the second to last corner all wrong because he had spun around. Definitely a fan of the Michelin mascot there. Jam's about 3/10 down, going over the hill. Let's take a look at Azazel. Looks like he's found himself just behind another car, and that car is going for a lap as well, so unless Azazel is able to make a quick and clean pass without impeding car in front. Oh, I think the car in front might have spun. I did hear a bit of tire squealing. Yeah, it was War Eagle going sideways through that right-hand hairpin at the end of the first straight. We were talking about how that braking zone is very tricky earlier on. Looks like D-James might be able to get another lap here. He's coming to the line. Yep, 12 seconds to go as he goes over the line. We're just putting in another timed lap. We'll check in with him a bit later. Looks like KG's maybe improved his time a little bit because he's only 4/100ths behind Azazel. Again, that car looking like a bit of a handful. Might be very quick if he's able to hold it together for every corner, but it looks pretty difficult to do. So he's a 10th up on D-Jams just now. Let's take a look at D-Jams here. So very smooth through the S's. Got a good exit onto the back stretch up the hill and 5/10 down on his best time. So I'd be surprised if this lap was an improvement. So that'll most likely be a 2:04.9 for him. It looks like Azazel has finished his lap. KG is still going. Into the final sector now, so less than a 10th improvement on his end at this point in the lap, and only 2 more corners to go. So it's not going to be much of an improvement, I don't think. But if he can, he might be able to get a faster time than Azazel here. Oh, and he does. So it's just those last 2 corners where he gained a bit of time, probably 3/10, because he was about a tenth down. And that's a 2:05.5 for him. So right on the last lap for KG. That's another second spot for him. He jams yet again, unless one of the cars still on a lap. I don't think anyone is still on a lap. So that'll be D-jams for the clean sweep of the qualifying shootout. So very well done to him. And then KG in second, Azazel in third. Silva fourth place, and we'll catch up with the rest of the results here. So Alan in the top 5. I think he'll be happy with that. And then we got Trackhead in 6th, 7th place for War, V-Chip in 8th place. And then second half of the field here, Little Jacob doing much better than he did at Red Bull Ring. I think he was in 15th place at Red Bull Ring. So making up some places in the total time there. Stenzel in 10th place, Lamb King 11th, 12th place for Token Timmy, Dinosaur in 13th place, Raleigh Rancher 14th, and at the end of the field, a Rogue who didn't look like he set a representative time on this track, so it's not just the positions here, but that time might add up and hurt his total time towards the end there. But we'll be looking at the total time for each driver, and that'll tell us which drivers are paired up with each other. So I think that might actually be it for this stream. And we'll announce the results sometime later for the qualifying shootout. The drivers will be assigned their teams, and then they will have a short time for meeting, and then choose their cars, and then they'll do a practice race tonight at this track here. Alright, so this has been the qualifying shootout of week 1 of LRC's The League, and check in next week for round 1 at the Nürburgring GP. That will be, let's see, how many laps is that? Okay, we've got 34 laps at the Nürburgring GP circuit. 6 laps for the sprint race. So there will be a sprint race, which will probably, the grid, I think the grid is set with a regular qualifying session. And then in the following rounds, the sprint race is set by the reverse championship order of the driver's standings. So that'll be a fun one to watch, and then the feature following the sprint race of each round will be the longer endurance style race. and we'll see you then on next Tuesday.